Is everything okay? Are we okay? Tweets, YouTube, are we okay? Are we alive? Tweet seems fine. YouTube seems fine. Okay. I think we should be good, right? Right. I'm so scared because I tried yesterday and I could not stream. Oh. Okay. I see that Twitch is throwing a fit right now.
The beat rate is so big.
Let me do my little trick that I found out when Twitch throws a fit.
Because apparently the beat rate is too big now. I have a bigger beat rate and now Twitch can't handle it.
Bits. This bitch Twitch cannot handle my bitrate anymore because I have a bigger bitrate now. Yippee! Alright, and now we go back to 6,000. Should be good, right? Should be good. I tested you literally minutes ago. Okay? We're good so far? Okay. Good. To everyone on Twitch, if something goes bad, if the stream lags, is stuttering or something, please let me know so I can take care of the bitrate, okay? Anyway, hello everyone, my name is Mary Kitty, your friendly neighbor for the contents of the Never Exam Sleep. I fixed my internet, I think. So yeah, now we have better internet. I wish I could go higher because my bitrate should be able to go up to 10 megabps, but Twitch cannot handle more than 600 thingy, more than 6 basically. So yeah, I am forced to stream. I am being when you know what, it's fine, it's whatever. Today we are playing a Yuri game because I love women. We love women, don't we? Everyone loves women. So we are going to romance this beautiful vampire lady. Oh boy! Well then, without further ado, let's begin. How's the name pronounced? Makey? I'm just gonna pronounce it Makey. Faster, Makey, faster! You have to keep moving or else... Oh god, they're gaining on us! Makey ran through the forest as quickly as her legs could carry her, which, given how exhausted she felt, was not very. She tried to obey Henny's orders, fearful of both letting her friend down and the shadowy figures which pursued them, but her body refused to listen. Her legs felt numb, insensible, as unfeeling as marble, but far weaker. It was through sheer force of will that she was able to keep going, and that alone, for all her strength had already left her. Even as Makey ran, stuttering blindly through the fog, She feared it was a lost cause. She was but a young woman, slender and, while not very short, quite unaccustomed to exerting herself. Yeah, that's me. She was not like Henny, who spent her days on her hands and knees, polishing the floors and blacking the fireplaces. Blacking. Mickey's fingers were white as ivory, while Henny's were red raw through demanding, often physical labor. Mickey's lungs, meanwhile, were straining from the agonizing effort of running. She saw me for real. Girl, we need to go to the gym! We should stop skipping leg days, okay? Never before had she known that the act of merely existing could be so exhausting. This is the most relatable thing that I've read in a while. That's so fucking relatable. Mickey, please, you need to hurry. Quickly, Mickey. God damn it, I can't read. Henny reached back to take hold of Mickey's hand, her coarse, sharp fingernails digging into Mickey's palm. Henny was screaming so loudly it hurt, but Mickey knew, should she continue to tarry, she could be in for a hurt far, far greater than this. Mickey recalled how her father had looked back in their carriage, his eyes wide and his face unusually pale. Mickey had never seen her father look so scared before. He was a tall, imposing figure of a man, doesn't even in his early 50s. God damn it, Ulf. Who was accustomed to issuing orders, not receiving them. Mickey had thought her father immovable. It's the same, whatever. Much like the oak tree which sealed her family's mausoleum, which had stood there longer than the crypt itself. Yeah, its trunk wide, its boughs withered. But Mickey had learned that even her father had weaknesses. She had once thought her father was a force of nature, quite impossible to argue with or get the better of. Yeah, but this supposition, whatever, had been turned on its head in a mere handful of minutes. For all his bluster, Mickey's father was only human. He was made of flesh and blood like Mickey, and when cut, he would bleed. He had bled a lot, in fact, all over the place, and holstered seats of their carriage onto the floor. His fine clothes had been stained black with the stuff, and the air had stunk of it, sharp and tiny. Mickey could smell her father's blood on her even now. As seeing Henny race through the forest, she couldn't forget it, however much she wished to. Oh, if only the events of that night had been nothing more than a bad dream. Mickey wished that the fog would clear and she would awake, her eyelids fluttering, to discover herself sitting once more in her bed, in her home, the room flooded with pale sunlight. Mickey! But Mickey's surroundings did not shift. The trees continued to press in about her, and as though they meant to eat her alive. The shadowy pursuers were beginning to close in on them. Girls, run faster! Mickey couldn't outrun them, no matter how she tried. She was flagging, her heart hammering in her throat. Girl, get the adrenaline going! What would happen when Mickey was not so optimistic to hope for an if they called her? What would they do to Henny? The thought was almost more than Mickey could bear. It had been bad enough to lose her parents, but to lose Henny too? She had done nothing wrong. Henny was no lady, She was just a maid. She was only being targeted because of her relationship to Makey and her family. Had Haney been traveling alone, she could have passed through the forest quite unscathed. It wasn't as though Haney had any valuables upon her person that were worth the effort of pilfering. Pilfering, okay. Haney! I love the voices that I make. Not even making an effort. Great. Oh my god. I'm gonna need a lot of water, and I'm almost out of water. Mickey appealed to her maid between sharp gusts of air, which pierced her lungs as knitting needles might. Please let go. Leave me be. I'm just slowing you down. No, Mickey, I can't do that. But I'm not good at voices anymore. You know what? I'm actually gonna put effort. Come on. It's time to lock in. How... Henny. There aren't any buts. I won't leave you behind. That's not what friends do. But Henny, I said there aren't any buts. But let's keep running. Mickey wanted to run. Really, she did. But her body had already begun to give in. Her heart might have been pumping fit to burst at the base of her throat, but her legs were weak despite the excess blood which filled her, and her hand hands felt cold and clammy. She couldn't keep going. It was impossible. She had exhausted all of her energy simply in escaping from the carriage where her parents' bodies lay. Now she would die, only a few hundred paces away from their final resting place. Would her mutilated carcass be discovered in the days hence and taken back to her family's home? Would seeing her parents be embalmed and sealed away within their mausoleum? Mickey did not much like this thought. Her family's mausoleum was a terrifying place, full of sombre stone angels and spiderwebs. It was quiet, being situated among tall trees, but its quietude was not at all relaxing. Its quiet was the deep, fathomless silence of death. Mickey did not want to die. She knew not how she would continue to live on, with both her parents slaughtered before her very eyes, but she did not want to succumb as they had in the forest full of fog. She wanted to go on living for her sake and for Henny's, though not necessarily for Walter's. Yeah, fuck Walter. I don't need me no man. God, we're getting closer. They're getting closer to us. We need to keep running. Come on, Mickey. But like the gathering flame of a candle, the last of her energy had expanded. Mickey, no! Mickey's foot caught in a tangled tree roots, which jutted from the ground like a bear trap, and she fell. Mickey, come on! You're not in a horror movie. Her hand, which was sleek with sweat, slipped free from Henny's, her fingers extending forth, plumbing the mist for Henny, but to little avail. Mickey! Henny's voice echoed in Mickey's ears, shrill and frantic, alongside her own pulse. Her heart thudded in her chest, hard as though meaning to stop altogether, but it did a little good. Oh shit! Her head smacked against the ground with a dull and a climatic thud. Great. Thud. Her auburn curls torn across the scarred leaves, the broken twigs. Mickey's teeth beat against her tongue. She tasted copper. Ow! Her vision swam. Mickey! Oh God, Mickey, get up! Please get up! And then everything went dark and black and dark. Act 1, the night that never ended. Great. I am able to read, I swear. I can read. What? When Mickey had finally awoke, she was greeted by a dull, crushing pain that gripped her skull like a vice. A brackish taste akin to pound water filled her mouth, and with one hand clasped her head, she coughed. Mickey's body shuddered and her lungs burned. It took a minute before her coughing fit subsided, and once it did, Mickey began to glance uneasily around her surroundings. She hoped that her immediate surroundings might shed some light upon her predicament, but her hopes were in vain. Mickey did not recognize any of the geometry which encased her thus. The floor upon which she was sitting, but why was she sitting on the floor, of all things, was made of stone, which felt hard and cold and uncompromising. The walls too were made of stone, as was the ceiling, which felt very far away. A wooden cot was pushed up close against one of the walls, but it was so steeped in shadows. But it was so steeped in shadows. Okay, there we go. I did not understand what I was reading. There we go. Mickey could scarcely make it out. There was a tambourette lying by the cot which, upon closer inspection, was empty, but its rim and sides were stained with caked-on filth. A truly unpleasant odor exuded from the tambourette pot, which made Mickey's eyes sting. It was fortunate that she had no immediate desire to relive. Oh my God, herself, for she had no desire to use this commodity. Yeah, I wouldn't either. At this holiday. A quick examination of the room, though, really it was more like a cell, so Mickey that, save for the cot and the tambourette, it was utterly desolate. There was no further furniture to be seen, no shelves, no cupboards, nor even a proper bed. Damn. They're not very welcoming, huh? Is that how you greet your visitors, huh? Not even on the bed? Damn assholes. There was no mirror either, so Mickey could not see herself, but perhaps this was a blessing in disguise. Mickey doubted she would be at her best, now being so very in pain. Yeah, so very exhausted. She was so cold she could feel goosebumps ripping across her and her teeth were chattering badly. Mickey wound her arms around her middle and shivered sadly. It was not only the tambourette that stung, the very air itself was wrung, heavy with the stench of unwashed bodies and general decay. God damn! People dying here? This room, this cell, reeked of death. How had she come to such a place? What happened to her? Mickey could remember sitting alongside her mother and her father in their carriage as it bore them through the forest, and then, there, at the most pivotal of moments, her memories failed her. Mickey could recall nothing else. Now, what was she to do? Had her parents been there, they would have given her instructions, They always seem to know what Mickey ought to be doing at any given moment in time. But they were not there, and neither was Henny. Okay, so I guess our protagonist here was a small brat, a small princess that did literally nothing by herself. Which is great, amazing. Girl, do you not have a brain for yourself to think for yourself? Mickey was all alone. Henny had been with her. Mickey was certain before. Before what? Why could she not remember anything? Oh, Mickey thought sorrowfully. If only she was made of stone, then perhaps her head would not hurt so much. If you were a rock, you wouldn't feel pain in the first place, but okay. It really did feel that her skull might explode, not from the pain, though the pain still remains, but from raw, unbridled fear. Mickey had often dreamed of stealing away from her parents' home to embark upon a brand new life, unfettered by expectations, but she had never wished for this. Tears began to trickle down Mickey's cheeks in crystalline droplets. The scored tracks in the dirt which caked her cheeks and dropped, one by one, to the floor upon which she sat. Her head bowed, fingers splayed up against the stones. Mickey sobbed and she sobbed until... What? What's going on? What? What's going on? A soft voice spoke from amongst the dim shadows. Mickey could not see the speaker. She could scarcely see at all, given the darkness and now her own tears, but she recognized its familiar cadence. Cease. The voice belonged to Henny, her darling Henny. Mickey's dear friend was here too, in the stone cell which smelled of death. And though Mickey feared for Henny, she felt relief too, bubbling inside her. She was not alone after all. Henny? Mickey crawled forth on her hands and knees, being too exhausted to stand, and stared into the shadows. Henny, is that you? Mickey? Henny replied after a pause, for the voice, though laborious, belonged to her quite unmistakably. There came a rustle from the darkness, of shifting cloth, perhaps a skirt, as Henny sat. A shaft of moonlight spilled through the singular bare window, hand high into the wall of the cell, and finally Mickey was afforded a view of her maid. The cherished Henrik, okay? Mickey had always called her beloved maid Henny. Oh, that's the maid's name. Okay, it seemed more appropriate appellation for so teary a woman. For Henny, come rain or shine, was rarely seen without a smile. Henny was not smiling now, however. Yeah, no, I wonder why. Because maybe, just maybe, you're in a cage. She was sitting upon the wooden cot which Mickey had first spied during her brief examination of her surroundings. My nose. What she had taken at first for a crumpled blanket must have been the body of her own dear mate, obscured from her by the shifting shadows. Henny's face looked woefully weary, and it had lost much of its usual pinkness. Her apron, once white, now stained and sullied with dirt. Henny's shoes had been black and sensible, but now they were mirrored in filth, and her socks were rucked up about her ankles. Henny's eyes were wide, and displayed so much white her irises seemed lost in them. This lent her a startled look, like a small woodland animal, look, which was heightened further by her knotted tangled tresses? Traces? Okay. Henny's hands, which she held at her front, clasped together, were trembling like those of a woman thrice her age. Henny looked an awful sight, but Maggie knew she could hardly have been any better herself. Henny's hair might have been a mess, but at least she kept it short. There was not so very much of Henny's dark tresses to be worked into a state of disorder. Maggie's own hair, meanwhile, was very long and curly, and though she had worn it in a sinon, she could now feel it straggling loosely about her shoulders. The back of her neck prickled, either from the cold or from a dislodged hairpin or two. Perhaps that was why Henny stared at Maggie so, once she had regained her own sense of equilibrium. What are these words? I'm not a native English speaker. As though she had seen a ghost. Oh my god, Maggie! Oh god. Henny looked so alarmed, Maggie felt almost ashamed. Maggie was no stranger to shame. She felt it frequently. Why? In fact, when she was with her mother, but it rarely raised its ugly head in Henny's presence. Oh my god! What the fuck? Since Maggie's girlhood, Henny had been her one steadfast companion. She was the only person Maggie knew who took Maggie for who she was. That, rather than wincing, often aloud to her face, she could be more appreciative, more amenable. More effusive, more like a lady and less like herself. Henny did not want Maggie to be more. She only wanted Maggie to be Maggie. Did that mean then that Maggie did not look like Maggie in the moment? But who else did she resemble, if not herself? What had happened to her? I mean, she's fine. She's a little blooded, and her hair is a little messed up. But other than that, she's fine. Why is Henny looking at her like she got grown 2 heads and broken a bone? Are you alright, Maggie? Oh, look at your poor face. Henny rose from the wooden cot, which creaked and crossed before her friends. Reaching out, still shaking, she caught Maggie's cheeks in her fingers and said, "You're bleeding." "I am?" "Yes, you have a nasty cut beneath your right eye and your cheek." Henny sucked in a breath, her expression grim. "It's all bunked up. You're positively black and blue." "Oh, I hadn't realized. I'm sorry, Henny." "What?" Henny, who had procured a handkerchief from her skirt pocket, it fortunately was devoid of dirt, posting her dabbing at Maggie's face to look at Maggie with amusement. "Why are you apologizing to me, you tough goose? You've done nothing to feel sorry for." I don't know. I'm just sorry for making you worry, I suppose." "Oh, think not of it." "It's my job to worry about you. I'm your maid, remember?" "Well, of course I remember that much. My thoughts might be in a state of disarray for the present, but I will never forget you." "You're much more than my maid, Henny. You're my friend too, my dearest friend." "And I could very well say the same about you. That's why it hurts seeing you in such a frightful state." Do I look so very bad? Well, now. Well, about that. Henny casts her gaze over Maggie's face, her brown eyes brightening with a familiar mischief as it said. That depends on how honest you want me to be. Oh dear. Do I look as bad as all that? You suddenly look better. Your face is all bunked up as a windful apple. An apple? Minky shook her head in wonderment. I only hope that the apple isn't ridden with worms. I don't think you've anything to worry on that score, at least. Well, that is a relief. That is a relief. And that is a relief. I suppose things could always be worse. Right you are. That's the spirit. You're still alive, and so am I. And we're together. That ought to count for something. Although... And he finished wiping the worst of the congealed blood and dirt from Minky's cheek, and drew back her shawl handkerchief, gripped tight in her hand. Her expression nearly dire, she said after a moment's pause. I am afraid that your parents mayn't have been so fortunate. What? Maggie's heart leaped in her chest as this somber announcement. Oh, what happened to them, Henny? Do you know what's going on? You don't? I recall that we were traveling to Uskberg to visit my fiancé, but as for how we came here... Maggie closed her eyes in hope of remembering something, but again came nothing. Her mind remained stubbornly blank, as featureless as the snow-capped mountain, all flora blanketed in a troubled whiteness. I am afraid I'm drawing a blank. I cannot remember. Not a single thing? Nothing. I see. Henny gritted her teeth together for a few moments, her eyes dark. She seemed to be weighing up her words, as a baker might measure out flour and sugar before speaking. That's not such a surprise, I suppose. You hit your head pretty hard back there. It might be for the best that you can't remember all the gory details. I wish I could forget what happened myself, but... Henny's voice trailed away as awkwardly she gripped her kerchief. That kerchief had been the only clean thing in Maggie and Henny's cell, but now it too was ruined, streaked with brown and red. How deep was the cut that Maggie had sustained, and how much had she bled? This still remained a mystery. Maggie did not know. There seemed much all of a sudden she was ignorant of. She felt so very unworldly she might as well have been a little girl again, and thus after she had successfully stolen the key to her family's museum. Maggie had not known, as she stood in the chill entrance of the museum, that she was about to lower herself into a subterranean world of death and decay, though part of her had wondered. Henny... Maggie took Henny's hand in her own, her fingernails cracked and discolored and dusted with dirt digging into her skin. What happened? Tell me, please, I want to know. Yes, I thought you might. That does make things a mite complicated, though. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Henny looked at Mickey beneath her half-lidded eyes, her expression distressed, uncommonly pale and pained. Promise you won't take and guess me for what I'm about to tell you. I've gone through a lot tonight already, and that would be the straw to break the camel's back. Henny, please, you should know that is a trivial concern. I'm fully aware that none of this is your fault. You have only ever sought to protect me. I have no better friend than you, not in the whole world, and all of it. And it's precisely because I want to protect you that I don't want to go into this all. I know it'll upset you. Christ. It upsets me too. It's an upsetting situation all around. It's rotten, really. What people are capable of, but... Henny, perhaps sensing her own distress, paused. She exhaled. Then, in a calmer tone, she said, "Just how much do you want to know, Mickey? How much is there to know?" "Oh, I remember everything. I'll always remember tonight, I expect. It made quite the impression. Horrible things always do." "Oh dear, are things really that dire?" "They are pretty bad, yes." Just give me a TLDR, girl. Or a TLDL. Too long didn't listen. Give me an unbriefed account then. I've no need to hear everything. Right, you are. Henny bowed her head in acquiescence, her face half swallowed by the shadows. The band of light which had penetrated their drab cell had long since been extinguished, the moon obscured beneath the rolling fog. It was so cold in their cell Mickey could not see her shivers. Even her teeth felt cold, like shards of ice implanted into her gums. Henny's proximity served as something of a comfort, but it could not rid Mickey of her trepidation. She knew once Henny relayed the past events to her, her life would no longer be the same. Everything would change. It was changing already, in fact, so quickly that Mickey hardly had the chance to gather her bearings. She felt lost, adrift, and hopelessly afraid. "I am sorry to tell you this, Mickey, but during our travels, the carrots, it was attacked by bandits." "What? No." "Yes, they came creeping out from the fog like, I don't know, monsters from a children's story maybe, but much scarier. They waylaid the carrots, then stormed it. They drew out the daggers and threatened your father, and when he refused to comply, well," and his expression twisted, "they stabbed him." "What?" Mickey drew in a sharp inhalation of air, her whole body tensing. She had expected as much before Henny began her gruesome tale, but the news still shook her. Evidently, she had not been half so prepared to hear the worst she had imagined. "Oh God! Oh, my papa! My poor papa! Don't tell me he didn't. I'm sorry, but..." Henny sniffed. "It's as you probably suspected. His wound was a deep one, and he died." "Dead? My papa? Dead?" I'm sorry. Henny, that was a little unnecessary, I think. Dead as a doornail, I'm afraid. I didn't hang around to see what had happened, like but... well... it happened so quick I don't think he suffered at least. And my mama? What of her? Don't tell me she also... Henny did not reply, but the discomfort which crossed her face left Maggie with no doubts as to her mother's fate. In one brief night, both of Maggie's parents had been slaughtered. Now she was an orphan. It's okay, bestie! We're in this together! And what of us, Henny? How did we escape? I find it hard to believe the bandits would just let us go. Oh, I'm sure we would join your parents if we'd sat still, like good little girls, but I didn't want to do that. I took your hand while they were busy with your mother, and we ran. We fled through the woods, but the bandits took chase pretty damn quick. Henny, you have every right to swear, okay? You have every fucking right to swear. That's a fucking nightmare. It was very dark, and the fog was thick, and I could hardly see what was happening. At one point, you tripped and fell. That's how you got that nasty cut on your poor forehead, and I was dragged down with you. We lay there on the ground in the dirt while the bandits traveled about looking for us. I figured we were both a couple of goners. I'd started to say my prayers to the Lord Almighty, but then... we survived. Yes, we survived. This, Mickey supposed, was not such a surprise. Well, since they were alive and breathing and speaking, they did in fact survive, I think. It went without saying, really, that they had survived. Yeah. Otherwise, they would not have been sitting in this ghastly cell, speaking to one another. Well, duh. Either the bandits had spared them, which seemed unlikely, or somebody had come to their defense. Who would have been wandering in the woods so very late at night, however? Mickey could hardly credit it. Their escape must have been the stuff our fantasies were made of. Do you know how we escaped, Henny? I know what my eyes saw, but if my eyes can be trusted or not, well, that's another matter altogether. I think I might have bound my head myself. It was all so peculiar. At the time, it seemed like a miracle. But looking back on it, that ain't the right word. Miracles suggest God and all his angels, but there was not holy about this. What? Okay. It was a right proper mess, really. A total bloodbath. Blood? Yes, there was blood. And lots of it. It's hard for me to explain, but... all I know is, one moment we were sprawled upon the dirt, you unconscious, and I half out of my mind with fright as the bandits approached, and then the next, they were gone. Gone? But where? And how? Did they run away? Not necessarily. Not of their own free will, like. The fog parted, you see, and then this figure. This woman. She appeared so quick, it was like she sprang up from the earth. She wasn't very tall, I don't think she was at least, and she was very skinny, but the way she looked, the way she moved, there was something unnatural about her. I didn't get a very good look at what happened next, but I saw her go after those bandits. I think there were at least 4 of them, but the woman soon took care of them. There was so much blood and lots of mud. It stung to high heaven, it did. Brought tears to my eyes. That woman, though, The woman in white, she didn't seem fused at all. She stood there once she had finished, beneath the moon, like nothing had happened, and then... Henny pressed her fingers to her brow and, overwhelmed, shook her head. I don't remember not after that. I think I must have fainted. When I finally woke up, I found myself here. It was your crying that woke me up. I've never been able to rest easy while you're in tears, Mikey. Yes, I know. You've always been so good and kind. Thank you, Henny. Mikey chanced and smiled, though the muscles about her mouth felt atrophied. Okay, worn away following the news of her parents' demise, and her own mere brush with her reaper's scythe. I've no idea what I would do without you. It sounds like you saved me. From the bandits, I suppose I did. But I wasn't much use when you took that nasty spill. There's no way I would have been able to carry you to safety. Not when we were all turned about in the woods and I'd no idea where we were. I think I scrubbed my own sin too, my young legs. We'd been goners if that woman hadn't appeared. But now that I'm talking about it, it doesn't sound real. I can't think of any woman who'd be able to beat 4 men in a test of strength. Not even your own Mademoiselle Blanchard. What? Mickey smiled wantingly at this, despite the severity of the situation, and she found, to her surprise, she even able to laugh. You know, when the life gives you lemons, you laugh at them. It was a weak laugh which contained little in the way of mirth, but it was sincere. Henny never failed to cheer her up. She must have had a knack for it. Mickey was too old to believe in magic, but when she was with Henny, she sometimes wondered. Are you sure this woman who fended off those... Are you sure it was a woman who fended off those bandits? Perhaps it was some sort of animal instead, and you failed to perceive it in the fog. That could be it. Like I said, my mind's a mess. I feel like I've lost a good 10 years of my life. Although... Here Henny smiled grimly, in the manner of all survivors after witnessing something horrid. That's better than having it cut short altogether. We must be thankful for small mercies, yes. Even if our lives were saved at my parents' expense. Mickey squeezed her eyes shut. She could feel tears beating upon her lashes anew, but this time she was able to subdue them. The news of her parents' death was a heavy burden to bear, but Mickey not having witnessed their final moments, found it hard to imagine. It still did not seem quite real, quite the rawness of Henry's account. The shock of it all, perhaps, had blunted her senses. It would take a while for her parents' passing to truly register. When it did, however, Mickey did not doubt the tears would come, and thicker and faster than before. It had not always been so, but her childhood misadventures in her family's crypt had left her something of a crybaby. It was fortunate she had Henny by her side to dry her tears. What would she have done without her trusty maid? Now then. Mickey inhaled, her chest rising beneath her torn gown, and gazed about. Where do you suppose we are, and how do you suppose we got here? That's a good question. I've been wondering that too, ever since we awoke. It's not the nicest of digs, is it? Not particularly, no. It's awfully drab. And it's dumb too. Yeah, I'm freezing. You poor thing, you. Come here. Henny shifted closer to Mickey, then drew her arms about her, holding her close so as to protect her from the frigid air. Henny glanced about her, as did Mickey. She squinted into the shadows, as though they might reveal more than they had upon their initial inspection. Her. But they are inspecting too, namely the wooden cot and the chamber pot beside it. Now, to make his disappointment, she found the cell quite unchanged. God damn it. It was every bit as sparse as they recalled. The shadows did little to mask this fact, and still it stunk. Goodness me! It's not much to look at, is it? We might as well be in a prison cell. I think that might be what this is. Henny drew back from Mickey, her legs crossed beneath her upon the stone floor, and frowned. I reckon you're right. I wonder who brought us here. You and me both. It was nice of our mysterious benefactor or benefactress to rescue us, though they can't be all that kind if they're going to let us suffer in here. You think they could at least have put us in a nice room? I'm not expecting first-class accommodations, but you deserve better than this, Mickey. This place isn't fit for rats, let alone people. It's alright. It's better than being dead, at least. Even if this lodgings, whatever, are might uncomfortable. Oh my god, why cannot I read? Stop! Only might. Well, make you correct yourself with a smile. Quite a bit, if I'm being honest. Mickey drew her arms about her legs, her knees beneath her chin, and said, when I woke up, I was lying on the ground. It's whatever. It's the same word, whatever. On the floor? Henny's eyebrows shot up her forehead until they met her hairline. The gesture was so exaggerated, it managed to bring another smile to Mickey's lips, despite how very dire the situation was. I suppose it makes sense. There'd been only one bed, but oh, that's too much. I can't believe they'd fling you about like a sack of sawdust. Many unbelievable things have happened tonight. Our benefactor must have been back in the trend. Some benefactor? When I get my hands on them, I'll give them what for. Don't, Henny. It wouldn't do to pick a fight with whoever brought us here. I wouldn't want to anger them, not when we are at their mercy. Why, but that makes us sound like captives. Is that not what we are? Duh! This is a cell after all, and we have no means of escaping. We're being treated like prisoners. I know, but it still stings. I don't care about me, but I don't want to see you being treated like a convict, not when you've been through so much. You've been through worse. At least I don't remember what happened, unlike you. And you're the one who'll be saddled with the consequences, poor Mickey. It was your parents, not mine. Well, I don't expect there's much point in trying to suss out? Okay, to suss out who's suffering more than the two. As it stands, we're both in this together. I won't abandon you, Mickey, so try not to worry. Keep your chin up. We'll get through this. Thank you, Henny. I almost believe it, coming from you. You should. I don't say things I don't mean, you know. Now, let's see. Maybe things aren't as dire as they look. There could be a way to escape yet. Henny rose to her feet, though unsteadily, and did the circuit of a cell. The shadows made it seem larger than it was, for they obscured the walls, but it did not take many steps to canvass the full length of the dingy room, whatever. She pressed her fingertips to the walls, then her ear, as though the stonework might whisper onto her their weaknesses, but her efforts were in vain. The walls held firm, as did the steel slats which crisscrossed the entrance. Ezra, hi, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing fine. We're just playing a Yuri dating game. Because I love my woman. Henny took the bars between her fingers and squeezed experimentally, but they refused to yield. Oh, come on! Yeah! Yeah, bang on the fucking gates! Whatever. Frustrated now, Henny gave the bars a kick. The tip of her shoe collided with them, losing clouds of dirt from her soles, but... Damn it all! The bars, as before, did not budge. They were quite impermeable. Fuck me. Sighing, Henny soon changed but tact. She moved from the door to glance up the window, but this was similarly barred, too high up to reach, and much too small to squeeze through. It seemed a miracle almost, the window, being so mean, allowed any moonlight at all to spill into the cell, when the clouds and the fog shifted. And? Mickey asked, enchanting? Henny flopped back down beside her with the rustle of her skirts. Did you uncover anything? No, folk, all except that were more trapped than I thought. Oh, shit, I fucked up. Where's the, where can I see? Let me see, where's the, where's the, well, I guess I can read back, can I? Nope, I cannot. Fuck. I missed it, sorry. God. Henny kicked off her right shoe, then began to massage her foot, which had begun to throb. Well, she did kick the thing, so... This is a wrong situation. I wonder what we're to do. I don't think there's much we can do other than wait. I suppose you're right. I can't say I like the thought of that, though. We're sitting ducks here. I feel we ought to be taking some kind of action. Henny looked about the cell once more, then sighed. But I'm drawing a blank here. I can't think of anything we could do. I'm sorry for being so helpless, Makey. I meant to look after you, but I'm a total loss. Oh my god. Don't apologize, dear Henny. I feel better simply by being with you. That's something at least. I wish I could be of some real use, though. You are of real use. Without you, I'd be in an unconscionable mess, weeping on the floor. Well, we can't have that. It breaks my heart to see you cry. Much as it breaks mine to see you self-flagellate so over something that is not your fault. Do say. How's the stream? It's fine! Everything is going fine so far. And I'm glad, because I thought that I would not be able to stream for a while. Because, the bitrate was shit yesterday, and it scared the shit out of me. But here we go, we're back, baby, we're so fucking back. Now that we're, oh my god, now that we're well and truly stuck here, I suppose we ought to make the best of it, although I've a bad feeling about this place. It gives me the creeps. I don't know who imprisoned us here, or what cause, but there are no manners to speak of. Why, it's almost as if... Oh my god! What was that scream? Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that scream? Oh. Middling, hi, hello, how are you doing today? Handy began, but she found herself unable to finish the sentence. A sound issued forth from darkness, emitting from beyond their tightly sealed cell. It was a faint sound, like a far-off rain. That was not rain, that was a scream. But Henny had still heard it, the sour air being so still and silent. Doing great? That's great to hear! It sounded like a scream. Yeah, thank you. Good God! Henny sat up straighter, her fingers sticking into her arches, her eyes alert. What in the world was that? I suppose that was just the wind? Do you really think so? Oh my god. I see you have a long list of artists. Is there an... Oh my god. Fucking bots. Do you stream daily? Not exactly. From now on, I'm gonna do my best to stream consistently on Fridays and weekends. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I won't be able to. I'll not be able to stream on Sunday because I'm going to go to a baptism. But I will make it up to you guys with another stream. I'll decide when that's gonna be. Yes, I imagine. Mickey answered in the affirmative, though deep down both she and Henny knew the truth. Great? Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you there. That had not been the wind, it had been too raw, too pained, too, the faint, unmistakably human. There were other cells, or so it seemed, besides theirs, where others were incarcerated? What the fuck are those words? Others whom right now were being tortured by unknown hands. Minky could feel the fine hairs on the back of her neck standing up. Her body, which felt constrained by her, quivered. All she could do was sit there, her legs pressed to her chest like a fitful young girl, as she murmured, more for her own benefit than Henny's. It was the wind. That's what all of this is. It's the wind, right? It's nothing to worry about. It's nothing, really. So what games do you usually play? I mostly play Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. What other games have I played recently? I I did start playing Undertale. I'm mostly like a variety streamer. I basically just stream whatever game I like. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Genshin, some Under the Adventurer, some Undertale, yeah. Star Rail. I played Five Nights at Freddy's, what is it called? Into the Pit. I did start playing Zenless Zone Zero too, but I kinda got bored of it, so I uninstalled it. As much as I love my cowboy Seth, it was too much of an effort. But yeah, everything will be fine. Right? With no obvious way to escape and very little to do, Mickey and Henny had no choice but to idle their time away. They sat upon the stone floor together. They could, Mickey supposed, have sat upon the wooden cot, but it did not seem sturdy enough for the both of them, with their legs folded primly, like two little girls conducting a make-believe tea party. Henny had at first balked at the thought of her mistress sitting on the floor like a plebeian, but Mickey's dress was already so dirty it scarce smothered. The two women did not, however, abandon themselves to inertia. Henny knew they had to do something to take their minds off their ghastly predicament. Fortunately, Henny was not empty-handed. She had in her pocket, alongside the handkerchief she had used to wipe Mickey's blood, a pack of cards. Nice! Let's go, girl! These cards were bent at the corners, but they remained perfectly functional. For want of a better way to use their time, Henny proposed to Mickey a game of Joker, which she soon accepted. Henny cut the deck, then dealt out the cards, her motions deft despite her trembling. Both Henny and Mickey were familiar with card games. They often played the rounds to pass the time. And hours, and time, and hours, and minutes. There been precious few amusements that ladies of Mickey's caliber were permitted to do. Were it not for Henny and her games, Mickey feared she would have lost her mind from fright. The two women played several rounds of Joker, examining their decks and dispensing of cards. The game did not require a great degree of tactical thinking, but it helped elevate some of Mickey's concerns. It could not, alas, elevate the cold, but Mickey had been shivering for so long she had almost grown accustomed to it. She had been in the dank, miserable cell for so long she could scarcely remember how it even felt to be warm. Had her journey to Uskberg continued unimpaired, I don't know, I'm sorry. She could now be sitting by the fire in Walter Gerhardt's living room, or else tucked up in one of his many guest bedrooms with a warming pan at her feet. My nose is itchy. Both Osberg and Walter Gerhard seemed very far to Mickey now, though being confined thus in the prison cell. How long had she been sitting with Henny on the floors, shivering? Mickey did not know. She could not tell. She had lost all conception of time and its passing. It had become nebulous to her, uninformed and unfixed. All Mickey really knew, in her infinite ignorance, was that the night seemed hopelessly long, she hopelessly small and insignificant. There was no clock in Mickey's cell, and neither she nor Henny carried timepieces upon them. The only means Mickey had of tracking the advancement of the hour was the silver sky she could see beyond the narrow window, situated high above her head. She could recall that the sky had been dark upon her waking, and remained so now, 3 games of Joker later. The moon, which emerged from the fog at irregular intervals, shone its pallid light upon Mickey's head and upon her hand of cards, lighting her Joker and his wide, rickus grin. Mickey had never much cared for the Joker in his trusty pack of cards. His expression unnerved her. Alan, hi, hello, how are you doing today? Every once in a while, as he played, Mickey spared a few glances upwards at the barn window. She could not hope to guess at the hour, but she knew it was late. It had been late when the bandits had descended upon her parents, and it was still late now. Perhaps 1 hour had passed since the attack, or 2. It could have been an advanced hour of the night, or could have been, by the same token, the very, very early hours of the following morning. Whew. I'm having the best. This is the best typo I've seen today. Perfection. Well, I'm happy to hear that, Alan. I'm doing fine. Now I'm gonna be streaming more regularly and consistently, so you'll be seeing me more around. Oh, though I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take a small break because I need to go to the bathroom and refill my water. Because I'm gonna have to talk a lot in this stream. So, BRB. Sorry, guys. I'm back. I'm back. Alright. Give me a second. There we go. Alright. Time to continue. Oh yeah, we read that, okay. The calendar might have shifted already, from one day to the next, but Meiki was none the wiser. Mickey could not believe, though, when she tilted her head, that the sun had any intention of soon putting in an appearance. I'm dying inside? Don't worry, me too. You are not alone in that. The darkness which abounded within her, oh my god, Jesus Christ, within herself was too complete for it. The cards in her hands almost inscrutable without the aid of the moon's light. Mickey could not hear either the telltale twittering of songbird, which often announced the coming dawn. When did the birds begin to chirp among the boughs of the trees beyond her bedroom window? Mickey could not recall, but she thought it must have been around 6 in the morning. Mickey had gone to bed at 10 every night, like a dutiful daughter, despite her advancing years, but she had often found it hard to sleep for a full unbroken 8 hours. She would arise at odd hours, at 1 or 2 or 3, her head full of thoughts, and often she found it hard to sleep again. When this occurred, Mickey would rise from bed to sit by her windowsill, her forehead in the summer pressed to the glass that always helped cool her, and her errant thoughts alongside it. Oh my god, I can't fucking speak. Oh, how her mind raced. It seemed quite unfair, really, that she should be cursed with so many thoughts when her parents demanded only that she to be perfect, passive doll of a woman with no opinions at all. With weary eyes, Mickey would look out to her back garden, steeped in shadows and the cobblestone streets beyond it. Others might have found the night in its fathomless stillness uncomfortable, but Mickey quite enjoyed it. At least she did not have to perform when all else were abed. She was free to feel and think as she wanted, without fear of being reproached. Mickey, Mickey! Her mother had often scolded her, as she sat in the dining room for uncomfortable family meals. You're foreign. Actually, give me a moment. I'm gonna need a fan to do the ladylike thing. Yeah. There we go. You're furrowing your brow again. Have I not warned you against it? It is most unattractive. What must Herr Gerhard think if he could see you now? There we go. Mickey would always apologize for these faults of hers, no matter how slight, but inwardly, she smoldered. She did not like being spoken down to as if she were a child. Now, at least, after the night's horrors, she needed no longer worry about furrowing her brow in an unbecoming way as she sipped her soup. That time, at least, she no longer had a mother to scold her. She would never see her mother nor her father again. And what of Walter? Of that, Mickey had no earthly idea. Oh, this is ridiculous. Penny groused while examining her own cards. We ought to be at her guns right now, safe as houses. We weren't so very far from Ostberg. At least I don't think we were, when we were attacked. Why did those bandits have to go after us? We were just unfortunate, I suppose. I can imagine the bandits meant specifically to target us. We just happened to be there. You're probably right, but... goodness. Of all the awful luck! At least you've had a fair hand during our game. You've beaten me out soundly during every single hand. Well, true. I suppose I should thank heaven for small mercies, eh? Henny smiled and Make's attempt to cheer her, but it didn't last. Both Henny's smile and Make's cheer were half-hearted, and soon they were swallowed by the sinister darkness of the cell. It's a shame I don't feel more thankful. I wonder what Gerhard would make of this. He'd be off his head, I'm sure, if you knew the state you're being kept in, Makey. I'm enraged too, for you and him. No, I'm enraged for you and him. There we go, fuck me. You deserve far better than this. You're a von sin. You're crying aloud. I will pretend that I know what that means. The person who's holding us here would feel mighty sorry when they realize who you are. You're a real lady. Maybe. Mickey's reply was vague in both tone and meaning. Not even Mickey herself was sure whether she meant to disparage Henny's optimistic assertions that her status as a lady would grant her any favors with her captors, or whether she was a lady at all. Mickey had been born into a noble family, it was true, with a lineage which could be traced back centuries, but the Von Sen were not what they had been. Half a century of poor financial decisions and a grandfather with a compulsive gambling addiction who led the squandering of much of the Von Sen's wealth. While still in possession of their family home and a veritable fleet of maidservants, the family's finances had been in dire state ever since Make's girlhood. Though not only wanting for cash, Mickey's parents had made a good many purchases based on their family's prestige rather than the figures in their bank account. Mickey's wedding to Herr Gernard had been an attempt to shore up the family's wealth before they could fall from grace altogether, but that would now seem an impossibility. How would Mickey wed Walter when she was incarcerated? There we go. Jesus. If Mickey had loved Walter, she surely would have shed tears over so cruel a fate. As it was, however, she was curiously calm. What did she care about Walter Gerhard felt? She barely knew him. Well, not to worry. Herr Gerhard must be sitting in his drawing room now, wondering where the blazes were our... What? I've no idea what time it is. Tell me, made two of them. But we should have arrived in Osper ages ago. Gerhard! I don't know how to... Goodbye. Hi. Oh, okay. Hello? 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 Are we okay? Hello? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Are we okay? That is a predicament. That is in fact a predicament. Huh. Bye-bye. Hello? Are we okay? Peter is not going very well right now. We're only gonna have to end the stream soon, huh?